All right, guys, here we go with Donald Trump making the as I predicted, appointing several people in his cabinet that are 100% establishment neocons, Warhawks, people working for the deep state, the clowns that he says he doesn't want in his cabinet. You know, he's now appointing all of them. One of which is this guy, this clown here, Marco Rubio, who he's said some pretty nasty stuff about Donald Trump before, by the way, right? And and Trump could be compromising. He could be putting him in there to put someone else, for another position, because he's not making all the decisions, guys. Trump is not. For those people thinking that Trump is over here, he has to still answer to certain people who appoint some of these guys. So, look, let's take a look at this video from. Look at this guy using complete leftist, democratic, personal points that they used to insult Donald Trump with. Look, the guy sounds like look at this, man.
He's a con man. I think it's time to unmask him for what he is. A con man who's taking advantage of people's fears and anxieties about the future, portraying himself as some sort of strong guy. He's not a strong guy.
He doesn't sweat. He doesn't sweat because his pores are clogged from the spray tan.
You all have friends that are thinking about voting for Donald Trump. Friends, do not let friends vote for con artists.
We're about to turn over the conservative.
Wow, bro. And this is the guy that Donald Trump is now appointing to be Secretary of the State to handle all the president's foreign policies through the State Department. Pretty much what Anthony Blinken was doing. Now it's this guy. Look. This is what he had to say about.
And I think that the best way to have achieved that is to leave in place.
This guy. Let's keep it real, man. This guy's not America first.
If you don't get a deal,
as Donald Trump claims that he wants to have a cabinet filled with people who are MAGA, this guy's not America first.
What's the alternative? Do we have to go to war? Is it necessary to be absolutely certain they don't have a nuclear weapon or the capability to build one?
And I think that the best way to have achieved that is to leave in place both the unilateral sanctions and the international sanctions. You combine that with a very clear demarcation to the Iranian regime, and that is this: if you cross this threshold, you will face military action on the part of the United States. We don't want that to happen, but the risk of a nuclear Iran is so great that option must be on the table.
So if it came to that, that would be an option that you would actually
absolutely
consider and use.
And let me tell you why. If we don't do it, someone else will. The Saudis are not going to sit there and watch Iran build a Shia bomb without a Sunni bomb. The Israelis are not going to sit there and watch a regime that calls for their destruction develop the capability to do so. But again, we would hope to have avoided that point by severely limiting and sanctioning Iran for its nuclear ambitions. And quite frankly, I think this deal could literally lead to increasing the prospects for war.
But what you're saying here, we cannot let Iran become a nuclear power, and we have to do whatever is necessary if that includes going to war.
Absolutely. By the way, if Iran doesn't need nuclear power, peaceful nuclear power, they're an oil-rich country. The only reason why they want enrichment and reprocessing capability is they want to one day be able to be nuclear threshold or nuclear possessed.
So okay, he's already here calling him, and then he appointed this other clown, whatever her name is, Elise Stefanik, who's another Warhawk. And so this guy's making all the wrong moves already, and he's not even in office yet. Yeah, this guy's a total whack job, man. He's a total whack job, establishment imperialist Warhawk, who is. I would honestly, he's probably worse than Anthony Blinken, right? Yeah, Elise Stefanik, Mike Welts for the NSA position, and Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. What a joke, man! Everybody was sitting there acting, oh yeah, Trump's gonna get in there. He's gonna take all the all these neocons that want to fund Israel and Ukraine forever out of his cabinet, and it doesn't look like it, man. Here's a video of this guy Raiklan breaking it down why Marco Rubio is such a horrible position. Horrible position.
Yeah, yeah.
Horrible person to choose for that position.
Oh, that's going to be so good. I responded to that tweet. I don't remember who said it. I said, just keep in mind, make sure it's transparent. So please do live streams of that.
Can you tell us real quick why you don't like Marco Rubio for Secretary of State?
All right, so Marco Rubio replaced. This is a little. All right, let me go into a little bit of detail.
Sure.
You got to follow me. Take some notes. So during the time in 2016 to 2017, during that spying operation on the Trump campaign, right? Way back, because you talked, I think, a little bit with General Flynn about it. We talked about it, I think, last time.
Yep.
But just to kind of remind you, in the Congress, there's a subordinate construct known as the Gang of Eight.
Okay.
It's the 8 people that are briefed on the most sensitive intelligence matters of the executive branch.
Okay.
Primarily covert action, right? But other things ancillary to that. Who are those 8 individuals? So it's the leadership on both sides. So Speaker of the House, House Majority Leader, Minority Leader, the Senate Majority Leader, and the Senate Minority Leader. That's 4. And then the House Chair of the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the ranking member, and then the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence Chairman and Vice Chair. Those are these specific names of it. Okay. So the chairman during that illegal spying operation on Trump and General Flynn and Carter Page and Papadopoulos, all those guys, right, in the Trump campaign, the Republican guy was Richard Burr, senator from North Carolina. Okay. Rubio's been on that committee for a little bit. So he may have known, but I'm not sure. But afterwards, when Richard Burr got in a little tangle along with Kelly Loeffler from Georgia for doing insider stock trading as a result of the COVID con, guess who took over the Senate committee? Rubio. Okay. So Rubio, not a peep. Like, of all the people in the Gang of Eight that have been in those positions from 2016 to today, the only person that stepped forward to expose the entire illegal spying op and subsequent weaponization by our intel services was a guy by the name of Devin Nunes and his senior staffer, Kash Patel. So I consider everyone else to be complicit in either involvement in allowing for it to take place, the illegal spying, or its subsequent cover-up due to ignoring it. And that's from both the Senate committee and the Judiciary Committee in the Senate, which was chaired by Lindsey Scumbag Graham. Okay?
Muff, not that guy.
That's why it's so important to have the Senate Majority Leader that can then appoint a decent chair of Senate Judiciary, a decent chair of Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. So Marco Rubio has been the ranking member on Senate Select Committee on Intelligence for, it's probably going on 3-4 years. So this guy has done absolutely nothing to expose, really, censorship industrial complex, the CCP influence, he's done some little bit noises here and there, but he has not really gone to the mat. So
why
which
is
begs
Trump
the question,
trusting him with such a...
is he protecting the system? And now he's going to protect the foreign policy-making system in the role of Secretary of State.
He is.
Yeah, because that's a very important position. Like, so why would Trump trust him? Clearly the guy didn't step up when he needed to. Why would Trump trust him with such an important position? I would argue the Secretary of State is incredibly critical, especially now, given all the foreign conflicts we got going on in the world. Why would he give him such a position?
Well, politics is a dirty game. I mean, who has leverage over the decision-making process of the Trump transition team? Let's go down the list. You got some folks that are publicly out there, and then you got other folks that are not really publicly out there, but I suspect have an outsized role on who gets picked for what. And so it's an internal fight and struggle. Let's go through some names.
Okay.
Some good ones. You got Eric Trump. You got Don Jr.
Yep.
RFK is on the transition team.
Yep.
You have Elon Musk, right? But then you also have what we mentioned earlier, unknowns. Susie Wiles. Chris LaCivita so Susie Wiles has a very close relationship with Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis is probably whispering in her ear that Marco Rubio wants to be the Secretary of State. And Susie Wiles is probably recommending to Donald Trump that is the best pick. And here's why. And Donald Trump's like, oh, yeah, that's good. Thanks, Susie. Yeah, let's do that. The other person that's probably going to be whispering is Kevin McCarthy and Paul Ryan's bestie, Chris LaCivita.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Rubio, Stefanik, Hook, Waltz, Man, that's a slap in the face to all the people that went out and voted for Donald Trump. Straight up. Slap in the fucking face. You know what I mean? Pretty soon he's going to have Lindsey Graham in his cabinet. What are we going to say now? What are you guys still going to make the argument that Trump is not compromised? He's not, all that money that he was taking towards the end of his campaign, he's not acting on that. Man, fuck out of here with that shit, man. This guy is a complete, I don't know if he's trying to hide the shit, but he said he's not going with Mike Pompeo and Nikki Haley, but now he just picked the literal equivalents. Stefanik and then Rubio and the other dude Waltz, who was I think he even worked for the Bush administration. He was there when they declared war in Iraq. Shit's a joke, man. But World War III imminent.